Hello everybody. I've got an interesting video that I wanted to do for everybody that is a Buffy fan. I've been rewatching the series with my daughter. I keep up with the comic books. Some of the groups I'm in, there's a lot of confusion about the comic books that are out there. So I kind of wanted to give everybody some info, kind of let them know what's going on, help them navigate what's out there and so they understand, since there's a lot of confusion. The Buffy comic was originally published by Dark Horse Comics. While the show was on the air, I think, and shortly after, they did basically kind of what you would expect for most comic books based off a show. Like, it wasn't really canon. It was just kind of extra stories that were sort of side stories that didn't really tie directly into the series, and that was fine. Like, fun stuff to read. But once the show was off the air, the creative team who wrote a lot of the show continued the storyline in comic form. So basically, season 7 was the last season. They continued with a season 8 comic book, and I think they went all the way up to season 13, if I'm not mistaken. But what they would do is they would organize it very similar to the way the show was. Sometimes it might be one issue, it might be 4 issues, but they would, essentially have episodes within that season. You got to see all the Slayers that got activated, some new characters, but you got to see older versions of everybody and sort of how they handled the world that was there after season 7. I enjoyed it. I thought it was well done. I like the artwork. Great stuff. Obviously, right now, what a lot of people are running into, because Dark Horse is no longer the publisher of the Buffy comics, Boom Studios is now the publisher. A lot of that Dark Horse stuff is out of print, and so a lot of it is going for higher than cover price. Especially Dark Horse did library editions. It was like an oversized hardcover that collected all of season 8. And they were real nice, high quality. I think they were 9x11 hardcovers. Last time I checked, they were selling for 2 and 3 times the cover price, which they were originally $30, and some of them were going for between $70 and $100. But a lot of the folks that are looking for these are not really familiar with comics, so I wanted to kind of clear it up. I talked to our liaison over at Boom Comics to kind of make sure that I knew what was going on. They basically told me that absolutely everything that Dark Horse published is getting reprinted by Boom. They're doing theirs in Legacy Edition hardcovers. It's like a big, thick hardcover. This particular one collects 11 through 19. Basically, they haven't quite hit the season 8 and onwards yet. This is $29.99 for this giant softcover, and it collects all the original Buffy stuff that Dark Horse published. They're just doing it chronologically. Absolutely everything. Season 8, Season 9, all that stuff is absolutely being reprinted in Legacy editions. They're just not out yet. There's a couple library editions that Dark Horse didn't get the chance to print, so Boom is making library editions of, I think, the last couple that didn't make it out before the license changed hands. They'll be the same format as the Dark Horse library editions, so that they all kind of match and go together. So if you have the library editions already, keep an eye out for that. We'll definitely be carrying them in Atlantis. I'm a big Buffy fan, and I'm going to make sure that we carry things that are Buffy. Another interesting thing, once Boom got the license for Buffy, they didn't want to just sort of do regular old, run-of-the-mill, same old Buffy stuff. So what they did is they came out with a Buffy comic series that is set in a more modern day. So instead of being set in the 90s, this one is set more like now. This is volume 1. Some of the characters are slightly different. Like you can kind of see on the back, there's Willow and Xander. Obviously, they don't have all the characters right away, but they've got all the main Buffy characters, Angel, etc. There's some character changes. Society's different now. So having Willow be openly LGBTQ character, it wasn't the same thing as it was in the 90s. And I'm a big fan of it. I wasn't sure what I was going to think when it came out, but they've done a really good job. It still feels like the Buffy universe. It still feels like the Buffy characters. I think they've done a great job on it. I was a big fan of the season 8, 9, etc. stuff that they did. That was really cool. But I also really liked the Boom version as well. Pretty solid artwork. The stories are well done. Comics still coming out. There's still new things coming. They've also got this one, which is Chosen Ones. This is kind of a little side story. But then there's also, we got Volume 2. And then this one is, this is a Hellmouth Buffy Angel crossover event. They definitely have some story beats that you don't see coming. The closest thing I can think of is the difference between watching the Walking Dead show and reading the Walking Dead comic. I love the Walking Dead comic. I do enjoy the show. They kept some stuff the same, but they made it different enough that if you like the show, you're still going to enjoy this, but it's not going to feel like just a complete rehash of the same old story. It seems like they're definitely focusing on what serves the story best, as opposed to we can't do this or that. And obviously for folks that are fans of the Buffy comic, You probably already know a lot of this stuff, but this is more geared towards the folks that are Buffy fans that didn't realize what was going on with the comics. But if you have any questions about Buffy comics, or you want to order any, let us know. Send us a Facebook message, shoot us an email. I'm happy to help. We do have the bulk of the graphic novels, and we do sell the individual issues too. Whether you're looking for the legacy stuff or the library edition hardcovers that collect the previous Dark Horse material, or if you want to get into the new Buffy comic. I'm all about keeping up with everything and helping people continue their enjoyment of the show. Thanks.
Grr, arg.